Welcome into Clear Picture Financial. Your host, Jason Noble. You can find him at Prime Capital Investment Advisors right here in Charleston. You can check him out online. Great resource website, clearpicturefinancial.com. Jason is a fiduciary advisor, holds his FINRA Series 66 securities registration, certified financial planner, and retirement income certified professional with 18 plus years in the financial arena, helping his clients get ready for their retirement. I'm Morgan Patrick, consumer advocate. Each and every week we hit the topics, but we also give you an opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason and his team and talk about where you are in your retirement planning situation. Again, it's a situation where we're all headed towards retirement. Some are closer than others, but you always need that plan. We'll talk about it a lot during the course of this program. So if you're nearing retirement, Jason, you may wonder what the best retirement income investment is and how you're going to turn your savings into that income that you need. And there are many factors that can, to consider when choosing retirement investments, including, are you ready? Retirement age, your savings amount, and your risk tolerance. So let's just kind of dive into this. I mean, what is retirement income?
Well, retirement income is the income that you receive after you stop bringing home a regular paycheck. It typically comes in two main sources: withdrawals from your retirement savings account and Social Security benefits. An important factor to consider here is portfolio's reliance ratio. That ratio determines how much of your essential expenses are covered by your portfolio withdrawals versus another income source. Now, depending on your situation, you may receive other income streams, including real estate or pensions or some other sources of income that's repeatable and sustainable. Your retirement income will be used to cover your bills such as rent, groceries, mortgage, medical expenses, and other travel expenses. That's why it's, I would just say, crucial to ensure your retirement income is enough to sustain you and your lifestyle for the entirety of your retirement. I'll put it this way, Morgan. When you're looking at growing your accounts, you're going up the mountain, right? And when you're going into retirement income, that's when you're going down the mountain. I want to make this very clear. As a professional, I focus on making sure you're able to go up and down the mountain. I can't tell you how many times I come across financial plans that are focusing on just going up the mountain, right? But don't you want someone to help you also get back down? It's just not getting up to the top. It's about getting down, right?
I love that reference. I mean, I love going, you're planning to go up the mountain, which takes a plan. But you also, it's not like you're just going to be left up there, right? I mean, it's your retirement. You got to be able to get down.
You got to be able to get down. And I'll say some of the most treacherous parts of the mountain, we're going to use that metaphor, right, is when you're near the top. And that's right before you're going into retirement. Because you got to make sure that you have all the right equipment to make sure that you could come back down as well. So making sure you have the right tools in the tool belt, so to speak, in the bag, and right, so that you can not just get up, but then you can also come back down the mountain.
Well, and there's that confidence, you've got the full toolbox, right? The backpack, you're headed up the mountain, you got everything you need. And not only when you get there, but when you make that return trip, when you come back down. So going up the mountain, I love it. And also coming down the mountain. Many factors, again, to consider when you're talking about your retirement investments, what your age is going to be, how much savings you have, what your risk tolerance is. So we talked about retirement income. So now let's talk about that risk tolerance.
Well, in a retirement savings account, you typically could choose your investments by yourself unless you have a professionally managed like IRA. In many cases, such as like a 401k, you can have an advisor to help you choose those investments based off of your risk tolerance. It's important for you to know how they're making those recommendations and what factors they're using to provide you that guidance, though. I have seen some algorithmic-based recommendations that were far off of the client's risk profile. Also, just answering a few questions on a score from 1 through 10, that's not going to cut it either. A professional will ask many more questions to understand not just your risk tolerance, but your risk capacity to really provide guidance on your investments. And as you approach retirement, your risk tolerance will probably narrow. It typically gets more conservative.
Sure.
As your portfolio will shift to safer investments that may result in smaller returns, but it will ensure that you don't have to lose as much money with the market experience in a downturn. This adjustment is due to the sequence of return risk that's considered within the investment plan. So look that up if you're listening, if you want to learn more about that. I know I've written quite a bit about it on my blog. But the other thing I'll say is the best retirement income investments may have a lower risk, lower reward that will preserve your savings and provide a steadier return.
Tell you, folks, I mean, having a plan, and again, we're going mountain climbing today. I love it. I think we're going to have this as a repeat, just to kind of paint that picture for you. You want to have that plan that'll get you up the mountain to your retirement, but you also need that plan to continue as you descend. You come off the mountain and enjoy your retirement years. So we've talked about, again, just some factors to consider when you're thinking about retirement investments, what your retirement age is going to be, the savings amount that you have, your risk tolerance. So we've hit what is retirement income. We've talked about make sure that you consider what your risk tolerance is. And then can you count on the income from your investment returns when you're in retirement? A big question to have answered.
Yeah, well, many people wonder if they can rely on investment returns as retirement income. It is possible, but it will require a hefty amount of your retirement savings account. So on average, retirement accounts, such as 401ks, what we typically seen, and this is more for guidance, is between about 5 to 8% in returns. And I want to be clear, this amount is not guaranteed in any investment that carries risk.
Now, folks, we talk this retirement, and we have this conversation each and every week with Jason, and it just kind of gives you that clear picture of what it's going to be like. But if we send you any message, the message is you have to have a plan. You need to work with a fiduciary, someone that has walked down this path before, that you can bounce questions off of. If you have, what if scenarios and you talk about those and you set up your goals for retirement, and then, you pack that backpack, right? You're heading up that mountain, and you get to the top, and there's your retirement. And then not only have you done well with your planning and you've gotten to that pinnacle, now you're going to start to come down, and you're enjoying your retirement as you go. So I love that picture that you painted, Jason. I mean, it's so important to have a plan, not just to retirement, but all the way through retirement. So now that we've talked about all these things, and again, what is retirement income? What is your risk tolerance? Can we count on those investment returns, when we get into retirement? So how do you make the income in retirement last? I'm going to throw out, a number of these suggestions. You're going to talk about them, but raising that retirement age, I know you have this conversation. You don't want to have it. People want to retire when they retire, but there may be a situation where maybe you just bump it up a little bit.
Well, I believe it's natural to want to retire as soon as possible. And technically, if you can begin your withdrawals from your retirement account until 59 and a half, and I will say there's some exceptions. The rule of 55 is one of those exceptions. 72T is another exception. If you're going, okay, what is this guy talking about, just throwing out these numbers? It's because we only have so much time. That's when we have a one-on-one conversation about how that applies. But if you may be in your best interest to even delay retirement age, every year you continue to contribute and let your savings grow will make a huge difference in your overall retirement income. Delaying your retirement age from, let's say 65 to even 67 or 68, maybe even that difference between you not having enough money saved and living comfortably. Even if you want to stop working full-time, having part-time income to rely on instead of solely on your savings could be a world of difference. Mm-hmm. And Morgan, this is what I've been seeing naturally as a trend for a lot of my clients, is I'm doing a financial plan saying you're done working. And in the dialogue and conversations, because I'm stress testing that analysis.
Sure.
Right? But when we're having the dialogue and conversation about what's next, Life 2.0, a lot of my clients are doing something else. And that something else could be consulting. Sure. I have one couple that comes to mind where he's a boat captain. He loves taking people out on his boat and showing them how to teaching them how to sail. Right? That's a passion that he has. But he's making some income off of it, and he has the biggest smile on his face when he's doing it. So when I speak to him about it, he's not going to work, right? Like he used to. No, he's going on the boat, and that's a totally different conversation. But that income alone has changed their financial plan for the better. And I got to say, this is, again, a trend that I've been seeing over the last decade.
Tell you, folks, when you get into retirement, a lot of us kind of feel like we're just going to flip that switch and we're done. But you're going to find out probably pretty quickly if you really want to have some activity in there, and it might include some work. So, have that in your plan as well. Talk with your advisor. There's going to be an opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason Noble. No cost, no obligation, no pressure. That's coming up here shortly, a couple of minutes away. But let's talk about this next one. So how do we make that income last? And it's Social Security. This will be the last one we have time for, Jason. So many people feel like, man, when I get to that Social Security age, I'm turning it on. No question about it. I want that money, but you could delay, and that might mean a nice windfall for you.
Well, you can begin as early as 62 years old, but you won't receive the maximum amount available. Every year you delay taking benefits, the more of your benefit will increase up until age 70. Now, I will put it this way. This is when it's so important to have a comprehensive financial plan, taking a look at all the different aspects. I have ran financial analysis for a couple recently that showed in their initial analysis and their secondary analysis to take it at 68 years old. The meeting that I had earlier this week showed them to take it at 69 years old now, right? And so what changed was they had another income source come into the plan where they could delay it a little bit longer. So what I'm saying is this is dynamic. And when you have a comprehensive plan, it has to take into account those major dynamics that come into play. And so you may have the best laid plan, but you also have to be able to adjust with it with different situations that arise.
Well, let's open it up. We've got spots on the calendar. We're going to do that right now. We have 10 of them for the entire show. What's going to happen for these 10 callers?
Yeah, if you're listening right now and you got questions for the things that we just outlined, this is when you reach out and schedule a one-on-one conversation. You're going to speak to one of our specialists here, Justin Green. You call in, he's going to be calling you back, especially if I'm on the air, okay? And this is where we start the process of getting to know you with our core values meeting and starting the clear picture analysis. I'm going to slow that down. Core values meaning we cannot help you if we don't know your story, your background, what you're looking to accomplish, your goals and your concerns. We get to know you before we even get to know anything about your money. If you're looking for an advisor that says, hey, give me your money, good luck with everything else, please don't reach out. We're not that firm. We are the ones that will look at who you are, and we never, ever put the word only in front of a dollar sign. We are here to serve the community of Charleston and those that rely on us to help them with their financial future. If you're interested in having that dialogue, reach out to us. Morgan, how can they do that?
All right, I got a number for you, 843-743-2926. That's 843-743-2926, or you can text Noble to 600-700. That's Noble to 600-700.